I've travelled halfway across the world from the UK to Bolivia in order to photograph one of my all-time dream locations. In my previous video, I photographed the flooded salt flats of Uyuni and came away with a set of portfolio images. However, I was taken aback by the crowds of people.
Yeah, we've lost the view.
And struggled badly with blue skies. But today, it's time to leave Uyuni behind. I have absolutely no idea what to expect on this leg of the journey, but one thing I'm certain of is that the landscapes will become more remote and the altitude will increase. But above everything, this place just looks different, and it's all to do with the unusual quality of light that you get at these extremely high altitudes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I photograph the high-altitude Altiplano desert.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed that intro. Welcome to another video from the Altiplano here in Bolivia. Now, you find me at a place called Laguna Canyappa, and it's beautiful. And I thought I would start my video from here today because this is just a quick stop off really, as we're going to another location that's a few hours away. But as soon as we arrived here, we pulled up and I thought, you know what? This is a bit of me. This is beautiful. It's so hard to describe this landscape. It's almost like another planet. It's so sharp and stark. It's as if someone has turned up the clarity slider in Lightroom. It's like full of vivid colours and high contrast because we're above 4,000 meters. So not only is it difficult to breathe, but the air clarity is exceptional.
Now, despite my first impressions of this being a very photogenic location, it seems that I fell into the trap of thinking that this would be easy, when actually finding a composition and balance turned out to be quite difficult.
Well, as you can see, this location is beautiful, but I tell you what, I have been struggling so hard. It's one of those locations where you get here, you look and you think, oh my God, there's definitely going to be an image here, and there is. But I had to work really hard for it. So initially I wanted a minimalist approach, just the curve of the salt and the blue water with the mountain in the background, but again, way off balance, way too much mountain. So I've come up high and I've got the wide lens out to incorporate all of these grasses leading through down to the lagoon with the beautiful contrast of the water, the white salt, and then that mountain to cap it all off. Now it's the middle of the day. The light is so harsh, but I really like it. It's such a bold look, like it's super high contrast, crystal clear, pin sharp. Now, one thing I would say with this is I spent a long time positioning myself amongst the grasses. It's really important that you have a balanced foreground that takes you through to the scene in the background. So I was very careful, always looking at sort of the lower third of my frame, make sure there was no distractions or no open spaces where there's no grasses or areas where there's too many grasses. Again, I'll say it's all about balance. So when framing a composition, keep that word in mind and it'll serve you very well.
Honestly, I would say that is one of my go-to pieces of advice when it comes to framing up your photograph. Just think of the word balance. Is this frame balanced? If it's not, work to correct that. So after several hours of driving across the rugged, empty deserts of Bolivia, we finally arrived at what would be our location for the evening. A beautiful eco-lodge situated right on the banks of Laguna Hedionda, a blue lagoon teeming with flamingos, one of which I'd taken quite a shine to. Despite my best efforts, stalking and photographing this flamingo proved unsuccessful and didn't result in any kind of quality image. But the real danger of being focused on one thing is all of the other things that you could miss.
Oh dear me, so having fun photographing that lone flamingo. I'm not too sure on the shot, but I enjoyed it because I felt like I was stalking it a bit. But look at the light behind me. I turned around because the light had basically disappeared off the flamingo. And all of a sudden I see this gorgeous light streaking through the valley there. And I'm thinking, that's got to be a shot. Straight away I'm thinking panoramic. But I know how fast the light moves around here. We're almost on the equator. I think we're at like 20 degrees or something. It moves very fast. So I want to get this as quick as I possibly can. I'm getting my camera on and put it into crop mode, X-pan, and I'm going to see 55mm lens, see if I've gauged this correctly. Oh, this is beautiful, but I'm a bit worried you might blow over. It's very windy, but it's such a rush. The light's going so quickly, so I have no time to get my tripod. Luckily, we have modern technology that is image stabilization, so we're all right. So I'm shooting this 55mm, and I'm going for a panoramic, and I think it works just beautifully. We have the contrast of, you can see the lagoon here, do you see that there? Kind of this nice shapely form to it. And then the silhouette of that mountain there with the light streaming through. Now, if I expose this correctly and actually shoot it quite dark, so expose for the highlights, then it could be quite a dramatic image. I love the shapes of it, the composition, the highlights and the contrast. Such a surprise when I was stalking a flamingo. You know, I was so lost in that one image, which I don't even know is any good. Turned around to basically put my camera away to continue back up the lagoon, and there was that shot. And it's just lovely. I love those spontaneous moments when you see something and then it's all hands on deck. You know, grab your camera, scramble to a better vantage point just like this, and another shot in the bag. This is beautiful. It's been a bit of a hectic day, a lot of traveling and driving and jumping in and out of the car at that last location and then this location. But it's a lot of fun, even at 4,000 meters. So yeah, really pleased with this shot. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to my hotel room. It's a beautiful hotel. It's called the Eco Lodge, and it's right on the edge of that lagoon that we were just photographing. So it's perfectly situated, which means I can just wake up in the morning, have a wander down to the lagoon and see what's going on. But the problem with this location, and not just this location, the entire Altiplano, is that it's so dusty. It's really dry. It's an incredibly dry environment. And as a result, yeah, your camera gear gets pretty dirty pretty easily. I'm noticing on a lot of my shots, I'm seeing a lot of dust and dirt on the sensor, and the problem with this blooming X2D is that it doesn't have a sensor shield. So when you change lenses out in the field, well, you're going to attract all kinds of dust, and it's almost impossible to avoid up here. It's so dusty. So I'm trying to be really disciplined with keeping everything as clean as possible and cleaning my sensor every other day, or at least when I start to notice dust spots on all of my images. And I don't have a medium format sensor swab, but a full frame one will do the job. I'll just pass by a couple of times, nice and easy, and that will be the sensor clean. Yeah, that'll keep us going for another day or two. So I will see you all in the morning. Right, everyone. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back to Laguna Hedionda, where I am finessing and trying to figure out and work my composition for this morning's shoot. I think we're going for another pano. It seems like all I've shot here in Bolivia is panos, but it just works so well. Wow, we have light as well. Okay, let's move fast. So I got my composition just in time. Timed it perfectly, got out of bed, walked down to the edge of the lagoon. Had a little bit of a scout around, but it was pretty obvious what the shot was going to be because the edge of the lagoon is lined with these yellow grasses and there seems to be salt on the surface of the gravel on the edge of the lagoon, which gives nice, interesting contrast and texture and kind of lifts the foreground a bit. So you've got these bright grasses and bright salt. And then, of course, beautiful panorama of mountains, which are now just catching the light. So better get back to it. Oh, this is incredible. Like, it's really hard work at these altitudes. Over 4,000 meters, difficult to sleep, always peeing, always drinking water and out of breath by just bending down and picking up your camera. But the beauty of this altitude, and I said it before and I'll say it again, is the clarity of light. The light's hitting these mountains. It's as if God has put a polarizer on the landscape. Like, it's beautiful. Again, we have blue skies, which is a bit of a shame. But I actually feel like it works in this landscape, especially with the panoramic format where we limit the amount of sky in our shot. Oh, it's just fantastic. It feels so easy as well. Just at F16, focus on the mountains. It's just a beautiful panoramic. Nothing wrong with this at all.
So the morning was over and it was time to leave, but not before a quick game of improvised disc golf.
Oh! That's a hole in one!
Oh, that's gone the wrong way.
Yes, something I need to work on, I think.
I think I'm further away from the sign to where we started.
But forget disc golf, this is a photography trip.
All right, next location awaits. Oh, yeah.
Now, the Altiplano of Bolivia is a big place, so there was a lot of driving on this trip as we travel from one accommodation across the desert to the next accommodation. And as you would expect, there's many stops along the way to stretch your legs, have an altitude pee, and usually there's a photographic opportunity because, well, it's the Altiplano of Bolivia, obviously. And it just so happened that at one of those stops, I got what could very well be my favourite image of the entire trip. Of course, it was not videoed, or very poorly videoed, terrible audio, but my god, the image is something really special.
Sitting here by this lake, I've probably just taken the best shot of the trip. Now that's subjective, okay? It's probably, may not be the best, I don't know, but for me right now, it's one of my favourites from the trip so far. We have cloud, whereas for the past week we've had nothing but blue skies. And I just sat here on this rock. I don't know, I'm not going to show you. I'm just on a rock, just sat watching the lake. And as I was watching the lake, this flamingo just slowly walks in front of me. It's just a really nice moment, really peaceful. Yeah.
Well, I'm not proud of that video clip, but this moment was never meant to be filmed. I was simply enjoying a short 5-minute break overlooking Laguna Blanca when this scene developed in front of me. I grabbed a hold of my camera, pointed, and took a shot. It was peaceful, calm, and quiet, and the resulting image is quite possibly my favourite from the trip. Although I shouldn't speak too soon, because there are many more to come. So onwards we pressed across the Altiplano desert, and the photography would just not stop.
Bolivia just keeps doing this to us. Look at this. I mean, come on now. One little cloud, light, shadow, panoramic, black and white. Bear with. Gotta take the lens cap off, haven't I? That would certainly help things. Ugh. Look, the cloud is right above the peak now. Just amazing. I'm gonna pop on a polarizer, get that sky jet black. What a phenomenal part of the world.
We would eventually make it to our final destination of Laguna Colorada, where we could slow down and take our time with our photography.
All right, we have arrived at the Laguna Colorada. Look at this.
And this location does not disappoint, but before we get on with the photography proper, let me thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Squarespace.
One word for you, ladies and gentlemen. Clouds.
Now, Squarespace is an all-in-one website building platform, so as a photographer, if you want your own website to showcase your images, perhaps an online store to sell prints, or even your own members area, then Squarespace is the platform to do that, because you don't need any web building experience whatsoever. It's a simple, intuitive, drag-and-drop system that anybody can build a fantastic, professional-looking website. So if you fancy giving this a go, go to squarespace.com/Heaton and give it a free try. And if you like that free trial, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase.
I promise you this is the last time I'm going to say it in this video. 4,200 meters. Making the most simplest of walk incredibly arduous. But I tell you what, honestly, it is so worth it. Wow. Right, so we are about an hour from sunset, and I believe and I hope that it's going to be a really, really good one.
Now, what makes this lagoon so special is the fact that the water is pink, and on the southern shore of the lagoon is this prominent volcano. Add to that the high altitude and clarity of light, and this is just a landscape photographer's dream.
Again, for the 50th time in this video, this landscape is so well suited to the panoramic format. I'm looking at this now, and I'm thinking, this is gorgeous, this is beautiful. And because I'm shooting a pano with a slightly longer focal length of 55mm, I've got my polarizer on, so I'm able to crank the polarizer without seeing any real artifacting of the sky, because there's not much sky in the shot, but it does darken down the water. It makes those flamingos pop, makes the white salt beds pop. This is a fantastic scene. Yes, this is glorious. As this stands right now, I'm very happy with it. And all I was doing was testing my focal lengths and looking for composition, so who knows what's going to happen when that sun sets. I can't wait.
Despite my high confidence of epic light, sadly I was disappointed and the light just kind of faded into nothing, and to be honest with you, I thought that was me done. Time to pack away and end the video. But that would have been a mistake.
Well, we're not quite ending the video. There's a lovely afterglow. I should have known. Flipping altitude Bolivia, man. We're getting back at it. So, I have got myself it's tempting to reshoot the panoramic, it really is, but I really like that shot. Hang on a minute, we're not. Let's see if we could just... So, really tempted to reshoot that panoramic. But I'm going to go for something different. A vertical, lovely afterglow. Gosh, we're dark. Let's see if I can just brighten things up. Whew, how's that for professionalism? Oh, no film crews here. Oh no. I thought the exposure was done, so I grabbed the camera. All right, we're going again. 23 seconds, f16, polarizing filter for that pop of contrast and a bit more color. Yeah, I was watching the light and I thought, oh, it's not going to happen. And then just in an instant, it happened. And I love this subtle afterglow. It's really nice. All right, let's have a look at this. I always like to go in and just check that it's sharp, because I will never come back to Bolivia. Well, I might come back to Bolivia again, but it's not exactly up the road in Scotland, is it? Flipping Nora. Really pleased with that. Really, really pleased with that shot. And now we will end the video.
If you've enjoyed this video and would like to support the channel, I have prints available on my website from this Bolivia trip, as well as 2 photography books. There is a link in the description below. I will also be co-hosting a landscape photography workshop in Japan. That will be Winter in Hokkaido, January 2026. So if that appeals to you, there is also a link in the description below.